how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in, and if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny, and today we're talking about a new release, a new offering from Sofirn, or Sofirn. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how to say it. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Either way, this is the Sofirn SC13, a small, mini-sized EDC flashlight that is both inexpensive, but also relatively powerful. And I got to say, I'm a huge fan of that combination because as an EDC enthusiast, I am indeed someone who carries a lot of gear in my pockets, and to be able to downsize is something that I'm very interested in because it means that I have more space for other things as well without sacrificing on the flashlight. And for those of you who might be new to flashlights, I highly recommend carrying one because just like with a knife, which I also carry every day, the more you carry it, the more useful you find out that they are. So this is a new release from Sofirn, and they sent it my way, I gotta say, a couple months ago. Here's how it went. I did my review, I recorded everything, I shot the photos, and then the SD card that I had everything stored on got corrupted and I lost everything, which is a bummer. And then the channel got really busy and this sat on the shelf. That being said, this is a light that does deserve some time on the desk. It deserves some time on the channel, and we're going to talk about why. First of all, let's talk about what does it cost and, well, what do you get? Well, for starters, this is on sale at the time of this recording for about $24 with the battery. Not on sale. I think these go for about $40. Either way, that's a pretty darn good deal. This light features the SC13 LED, and it will give you a 1300 max lumen output with an intensity max of about 11,750 candela. That's really good. That means that the beam will travel for about 217 meters, which is very good for a light of this size. We have a deep carry clip right here, which also doubles as a hat clip. So if you want to go hands-free, you can clip this to the top of your hat. And the battery, of course, is a USB-C rechargeable, replaceable 18350 battery. And you can order this directly from them with or without the battery. So if you're not a big fan of the Sofirn batteries, you can, of course, replace this with a battery of your choice. So far in my use case scenarios, I haven't had any issues with this. Now, something that I will mention is that they do not tell you how long it takes to recharge this thing. In my experience, and I've never drained this to completely dead, I've never had to, but from say like a half charge, it's never taken an hour to charge this. It's always been pretty darn quick and easy to recharge this. So depending upon how far you drain it down, I would just say worst case scenario, plan on 45 minutes to an hour and you'll be good to go. I really enjoy the fact that the USB-C rechargeable port is covered, and that also lends to the fact that this is IP68 water, dust resistant, and impact resistant, which is nice. It has 6 modes, which include your basic moonlight, low, medium, high, turbo, and strobe. Of course, the 1300 lumens happens at turbo mode. Same thing with the strobe. Let's talk about how do you actuate it? How do you use it? It's very simple, and it's probably a mechanism which you are very familiar with if you have, for example, an Olight Baton 3 or a Olight Baton 4 or any Olight with this button for that matter. To turn it on, you just press the button once, and it will turn on to the very last setting that it was on before. Just like with the Olights, if you press and hold, it will cycle through the 3 modes of low, medium, and high. Now, if you press and hold from an off, it'll automatically go to moonlight mode. Moonlight mode will last for 100 hours. So if all you really need is the most basic light, or you're in a situation where you don't know when you're going to be able to recharge this and you just need a light to be able to see things very close or not at a far distance, moonlight mode will last you for a long time, and that is a single lumen output. To reach turbo mode, it is a double click, and to reach strobe mode, it is another double click. All in all, very simple, and I really enjoy that. You do get a battery indicator here on the button. If it's green, that means that you still have a full charge or mostly full charge, and it will, of course, turn to red for a low charge or a charge that's about to die. What's really impressive is the amount of value that Sofirn is giving us here with this light, because not only do we get all of the ratings that we love, we have a 1,000+ lumen rating. We've got a nice distance rating with some seriously strong candela coming in at 11,750 at max output. We've got a clip for your hat. But the fact that you get all of this at under $50 is mind-blowing. I'll give you an example of why. Here is the brand new Olight Baton 4, and this light costs $100. Now, before we start screaming bloody murder, I understand this comes with a charging case and has features like stepless ramping, so on and so forth. But when we talk about pure performance between the two, you'll find that the Sofirn SC13 is a much better value for your money when it comes to just the light itself. For one, while it's not as pretty as the Olight, it gives you far more candela, a much higher intensity rating. For example, this is going to come in over 7,000 candela, and this one 11,750. This also is 1,300 lumens. This is 1,300 lumens, so the amount of brightness is the same, but the intensity is not, and the distance that they travel is not. This purely outperforms the much more expensive Olight, despite the fact that they both have things like a clip that you can put on your hat, IP68 water resistance, and also a replaceable 18350 battery. The Sofirn SC13 also has a magnetic tail cap, which means that you can, of course, stick to things like the underside of your car hood or on anything that's metal. And that's nice because if you need to go hands-free, but maybe you're not wearing a hat and you still need light, and maybe you're in a shop, a dark area, you can stick it to a metal piece and it will stay there. That's very, very useful. Ultimately, I'm glad that products like this exist for the people that do not need all of the extra features or all of the extra things, because it's a nice option to have. It's going to fit in the pocket, it's going to perform well, and this one definitely has for me. Even when it comes to something as simple as being able to move this clip around to hide the power button. So this way, when it's in your pocket, it's not constantly bumping up against things, and it reduces the chance that you could accidentally turn it on. If that wasn't enough, you can, of course, lock it with 3 clicks, and all of a sudden it is locked out. Now, what's really interesting to me is that when it's locked out, when you press the power button, you get a couple flashes, which I don't quite understand. I don't really understand why we need the flashes from this LED. It seems like a good way to accidentally drain the power, especially if this is in your pocket and you don't have this clip flipped around to protect the button. Eventually, if you're on low battery, every little bit of light counts, and wasting it on accidental clicks is not something that I'm a huge fan of. Is it a huge deal to me? No, but it is ultimately a design flaw. If you're going to have it flash somewhere to iterate that it is in fact locked out, have that flash happen on the button like we see in other EDC flashlights. Again, that's a really small downside for what is essentially a really big value on a very carry-friendly light. I didn't want to spend too long repeating myself and going over the same thing, but I did want to show you guys, for any of you out there who enjoy carrying these small mini flashlights but also want a decent amount of power output, this is going to be punching way outside its weight class when it comes to power and performance, and of course its ability to be carried in all weather conditions is not too shabby either. I'm going to go ahead and make sure to link it down below, so if you decide that you want to pick this one up for yourself or for a friend or a family member, go ahead and do so. And let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of the Sofirn SC13? Do you have one? Are you going to pick one up? If not, why not? Let's have that discussion. And by the way, if you want to watch more awesome knife and EDC content, feel free to click on one of the videos that pops up next.